Now, look, y'all, I know that game did not look anything like majority of us wanted it to look, although I'm sure it was a great viewing experience if you actually went to AT&T Stadium for that matchup against the Giants. But now we about to get into our week 2 grades, and y'all already know how we do on this thing. We got to keep it real, y'all. There was a lot of ugly we saw in that game, but there was actually more good than most people are probably willing to bring up. Let's get right into our week 2 grades. But before we do, let's go ahead and check in on our friends of the channel and sponsors of today's video, the Jet Lag Warriors YouTube channel. Now remember, the Jet Lag Warriors are that family of Cowboys fans that decide to go on a cross-country road trip to all of the Cowboys away games and visit AT&T Stadium to take in all of the sights, feelings, and vibes of what it's like to be there representing the Star. Whether it's trying to see how good or bad the stadiums are, how the fans treat opposing fans, or just experiencing the game in a brand new locale, we'll be able to join along with the Jet Lag Warriors YouTube channel, as they are going to give us an inside look to this entire journey over on their channel in a extremely high quality vlog. Be sure to check out their latest upload where they're showcasing what it was like to be in the stadium during that insane Dallas Cowboys and New York Giants game. You'll be able to keep up with all of this and more, as my guy was able to convince his wife to go on this cross-country trip with him. Not gonna lie, bro, it looked like they're having a whole bunch of fun at the game, and right now, he looking exactly how I was looking towards the end of that joint. It was way too much going on in that game, man. So again, be sure to check out the Jet Lag Warriors YouTube channel. Let them know that Attack on Cowboys sent you, and appreciate you guys, Jet Lag Warriors, for sponsoring today's video. All right, so the Cowboys won that game against the Giants 37-4, and as we're going to do every week of the season, I want to get into our grades for this game because, oh boy, I can't wait to give my thoughts on this one, y'all. Let's go ahead and start on the offensive side of the football, which happened to be one of the saviors of today's game, man. The offensive side of the ball, where should we start here? First and foremost, Javonte Williams. Some of y'all were getting mad at me and stuff in the comments because I compared him to the late, great Marion Barber. Hey, man, I don't know what you're watching if you can't see the similarities in the way that those guys run, their running style. We're not comparing production or anything else like that, man. We're comparing the styles of running backs that they are. And Javonte Williams is an absolute bruiser. He's an ultimate competitor. And multiple times in that game against the Giants, he turned nothing into something, including late in the game, man, where he was able to make a key play for us. But overall, the offensive line, that was probably one of the most stout defensive lines. For the second week straight, that was probably one of the more stout defensive lines that you're going to see in the National Football League. We're talking about Dexter Lawrence, Brian Burns, Abdul Carter, Kevon Thibodeau, and those boys were absolutely balling on Sunday. That makes no mistake about it. No matter how we feel about the Giants, that is probably their strongest unit on their entire team, and they damn sure looked like it against our offensive line. But our offensive line actually held up pretty damn well. The thing about the NFL is y'all can't expect guys to win every single rep, especially when you're going up against a formidable defensive line unit like the Giants have. I am very, very happy with the performance that our offensive line put up. For the most part, yes, the Giants were able to get to Dak again. Those guys are NFL players too. They're getting paid as well. They should be able to win a rep here and there. But for the most part, our offensive line were able to open up holes and keep our quarterback clean when it mattered. Yes, the offense kind of stuttered along, probably all the way up until damn near like the fourth quarter. The offense was really hit and miss. Javonte Williams saved us a couple of times, got a long touchdown run in a situation that kind of looked like the Cowboys were trending downwards. And then that kind of started and took the lid off of things. That kind of started all the scoring from there. But the offense, I think the offense was damn good. Outside of a couple of drops by Jake Ferguson, Jalen Tolbert, CD, you gave us another drop, but you did show up in this game as well, so we're not going to go too hard on you. But outside of a couple of drops, I liked how the offensive line played. I damn sure liked how our lead running back, and I think it's safe to say lead running back, Javonte Williams, don't need to come off the field unless he's getting some air. Unless he's trying to get some oxygen or something, man, he don't need to be off the field. Let that man go ahead and be our lead running back. I think he's earned that right, especially with the way he's played, he's protected back there, and the way he's run that ball and been able to create something out of nothing and get us more yards after contact. So Javonte Williams, big salute to him. Dak Prescott is playing on an absolutely different level right now. You don't have to take my word for it either, man. Even according to PFF, even though I don't look at that as the holy Bible for football or anything, but according to PFF, he's third in passing yards so far, second in player grade, second in passing grade, first in big-time throws with 9 big-time throws thrown so far this season, tied for second with 28 first downs gained, and has an 86.9 grade under pressure, which is good for second in the NFL. This man is going absolutely bonkers right now, and the type of throws that he's trying to make, bruh, I don't know if we've seen this confident of a Dak and this precise of a Dak Prescott in a very long time, bro. I mean, even 2023 Dak, he was balling, but man, this is one sleeve Dak is different. One sleeve Dak is moving different. My guy set a modern day record with most consecutive wins by starting QB versus an opponent since 1980. He now has 14 against the New York Littles. Dak Prescott is officially the father of the Giants, man. But if you go back and actually watch that game and see some of the throws that he was making, absolutely gorgeous. And just overall, even though they had a slow start, the offense did everything humanly possible to help our team win that game. And with that being said, I have to give the offense an A. I would give them an A+ if they were able to be consistent throughout the game. But they scored 40 points. You can't ask for much more from an offense. Just overall, you got to give the offense an A. Now, as I'm getting the offense an A, the defense, what y'all think they're going to get the defense? What y'all think the defense deserve? I got a big fat, y'all ain't got to wait for it. I got a big fat F for the defense, and actually, I'll give you an F+, just because you were able to actually make the play that was there to be made when Russell Wilson literally handed you a gift, throwing you that interception because of the pressure by Sam Williams at the end of the game. So shout out to Sam Williams for finally getting some pressure, but I mean, what do we have to discuss right here as it pertains to our defensive grade, y'all? Russell Wilson had 450 yards passing the ball, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, had a 73% completion rate, and was absolutely going bonkers, bro. He completed 7 of his 11 deep passes for 264 yards, 3 touchdowns, and an interception in the Giants' Week 2 loss, bro. So Russell Wilson went absolutely bonkers on our defense. The secondary, if we're trying to figure out what happened, if everyone wants to know, like, what happened, where do I start as it pertains to looking at what went wrong in this game against the Giants? Why did it look the way that it looked? I'm going to tell y'all right now. What went wrong was the secondary. The communication in the secondary, playing those zone coverages against a veteran quarterback like Russell Wilson. That's why I said, man, you got to be very, very careful playing against a guy like a Russell Wilson, because those vets, they can absolutely sting you. He can give you a Joe Flacco memorial type of game here and there still. Even at his old age, bruh, Russell Wilson can still light you up. And we saw that. And he was absolutely dropping dimes and buckets. And our secondary was playing out of phase. They were playing with bad leverage. And Donovan Wilson is an absolute liability. And now, I don't like trying to kill our guys because we want to support our Cowboy players at the end of the day. I want to support these guys. But Donovan Wilson, man, he has now, this is going into the second year straight, at least on my channel, where we're like, hey, man, we're about to be pretty critical of this guy because he is not looking good on the tape. There are situations where how do you allow guys to get over the top of you when you're the deep safety? How does that happen, man? There is no way anybody should ever get over the top of you when you're the deep safety, man. And there were situations in that game where Donovan Wilson actually made other guys look bad as well, especially if you don't really know what you're looking at as it pertains to the zone coverages and the responsibilities and kind of seeing where some of the miscommunication went wrong, bro. Donovan Wilson was probably culprit number 1 in that secondary as far as guys that looked really, really bad. Unfortunately, I think the best guy in our secondary yesterday was Reddy Stewart, the guy who literally got called up to be the nickel in wake of LeBron Bland going down. Now, I didn't know our secondary was going to look like that if DB went down, but if that's how they're going to look, Lord help us, man. Go get DeRon Bland another pair of feet and go sign Stephon Gilmore, because this was ugly. I know Cowboys fans right now are just staring at Josh Butler and Savon Rebel on the rehab group like, are y'all ready to come back yet? Because we sure need some help over here. The defense, F+, bruh. And the F stands for fireable, because that's how bad the defense was. That was damn near a fireable offense with how pathetic it was. It put up absolutely no resistance. There was nothing positive to look at from the defense outside of Kenny Clark. Kenny Clark was probably the only guy that flashed. And something else that's really starting to bother me as it pertains to how they're calling the defense is why is Maris Leofau playing the least amount of snaps Out of all of our linebackers, Kenneth Murray played 67 snaps, which was 100% of the snaps. Jack Sanborn played 56, which was 84%. Then Damone Clark played 20, which was 30%. And Leofau only played 9 snaps, which was 13%, man. That is absolutely reprehensible, bro. There's no way you can get away with playing, Damone Clark more snaps than Marist Leofau, especially with the way Marist Leofau ended last season and looked into this training camp and preseason period. There's no way Marist Leofau should be getting more play than a Damone Clark. In addition to that, I love the addition of Jack Sanborn and guys like Kenneth Murray, but I love them more so in a rotation, bro. I can't wait for DeMarvion Overshown to get back, but until then, put our other playmaker in the middle of that defense. Put him back on the field, because right now Marist Leofau is probably one of the only playmaking guys that we really have on the defense outside of a Kenny Clark and Osa Odighizuwa. Outside of that defensive tackle group, we really don't have much firepower on the defense, and so that's why I have to give the defense an F+. They gave up 37 points, man. The only thing they could have possibly done worse was drop that interception that was thrown to Donovan Wilson. But beyond that, they get absolutely no credit for me, and they are 100% on notice. Everybody on that defense, we're going to be taking a very close look at on film this week. We're going to be seeing exactly what the heck was going on, because it was just, absolutely unacceptable. Special teams, they were not far behind the defense. Now, a lot of people may not realize how bad the special teams played, but the majority of the Cowboys' penalties against the Giants on Sunday came on the special team side of the ball. You get bad marks for that. And again, I'm going to talk about the penalties in just a second with the coaching staff part. But the special teams, man, whether it was Jalen Tolbert looking absolutely terrified back there to return a kick, or Kavontae Turpin getting his head turned around on his shoulders, the special teams, if it wasn't for Brandon Aubrey, the special teams would have absolutely gotten a D or a C or something like that. But Brandon Aubrey, Brandon Aubrey, bro, we're going to get a special teams a B, only because of Brandon Aubrey. Brandon Aubrey, they actually will do a B+, only because of Brandon Aubrey and the performance that he put up with those late game kicks at the end of regulation, in the fourth quarter, and at the end of the overtime, bro. If it wasn't for him, there's no way we come out of here with that W, bro. So big shout out to Brandon Aubrey, and only because Brandon Aubrey, we'll give him a B for Brandon Aubrey. Go get that B+, because we won the game with the special teams unit. Even though the special teams returned the ball and their discipline and getting penalties and stuff, it was bad. Marquise Bell, I'm looking at you. You had at least 2 or 3 of those penalties, bro. You got to get it together, man. Play with more discipline, play under control. But the special teams unit, B+. Coaching. This right here is truly a tale of two halves right here. This is a tale of two halves. The offensive side of the ball, the coaching on that side of the ball, like I said, a lot of the feedback is the same what I said for the offense. Started out slow, but at the end of the day, you made the right calls, and you were able to put us in position to be able to win that game. So the offensive coaching, they did a really good job. The defensive side of the ball, though, absolutely horrible. So just like I gave the offense an A and the defense an F, the coaching, I have to give probably like a C+. And I'm only giving a C+ because I feel like Brian Schottenheimer in this staff, I'm going to give it a C+ because I want to be an overall positive take, even though there's a lot left to be desired, and really the grade is as low as it is because of the defense. I'm giving it a C+ because Brian Schottenheimer and this staff, regardless of how ugly it was, this group honestly did something that we don't normally see these Cowboys do. We don't normally see the Cowboys respond to getting punched in the mouth like that to start a game. We don't normally see the Cowboys respond to coming out looking flat. Usually when they come out like that, man, the wheels completely come off that thing and they get blown off the field. And usually, even if they do punch back, we don't ever see them punch back multiple times and answer the bell multiple times. I feel like you got to give the coaching staff a lot of credit. Brian Schottenheimer and kind of what he's been preaching with this team, you got to give a lot of credit for how they responded in that very, very difficult moment in that game. So I got to give the coaching some credit. C+ for the coaching staff. Overall, the defenses bring that grade down quite a bit, but just overall and how everyone responded, it kept the guys' heads in the game. I got to give them an overall positive takeaway. Not a super positive takeaway, but it was definitely a positive takeaway. So with that, we have an A on offense, an F+ on defense, a B+ on special teams, and a C+ with the coaching staff, which to me, that tells me that the overall grade is somewhere between a C+ and like a B-. I think just for the way the game looked, I think a C+ probably feels a little bit better to give them on this one. Again, overall, a positive takeaway because we did win the game, but in the fashion that we won the game and in the competition that we were facing, it is disappointing. So C looks about right. It's about a 50-50 type of grade, but we're going to lean positive just because we won. Obviously, we would have lost. The grading system would have been completely different. The offense probably would have graded well, but everything else probably would have been down in the dumps, right? But either way, my overall grade for week 2 for the Dallas Cowboys is C+. And be sure to let me know your grades for each of these position groups down in the comments below. And let me know who your players of the game were. For me, I think the players of the game had to be Javonte Williams, Dak Prescott, Brandon Aubrey, and Kenny Clark. If it wasn't for those 4 gentlemen, then we wouldn't have had a shot in hell in order to win this game. But either way, till next time, how about them Cowboys?
Calling me, texting me, paging me, asking me, am I still them boys? Y'all usually check on me. Listen. I'm still them boys. Hey! Woo! Oh, shut up, my boy. Hey! I'm still them boys.